they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 853 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it is Monday, September 1st, 2025. This morning, I'm enjoying a fresh cup of medium dark Brazilian from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean Airstream roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Talk about this Brazilian in just a few minutes. It's good. It's good. It's new coffee this month in the C4 package. So talk about that in just a second. But other than that, today we've got a packed show. A little slight course correction, but a full steam ahead on the cabin build. Dolly, our new little kitten, is finally starting to settle in here in the camper, and I'll talk about how the dogs are getting along with that. Some more small town drama that's getting a little ridiculous around here where we're staying. So I'm glad that cabin build is full steam ahead. And a new type of crazy in my Facebook feed, and I have a few questions for those folks. Maybe I'll go trolling a little bit. Maybe it'll just be for the show. Maybe we'll end up with a few shorts to be able to cut out of it and post up some places. So we will see. But anyway, grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started for the week. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone today? Rewilder in over there first. Good morning to you, Rachel. Thanks for stopping in. And Mike's Homestead, good morning to you. Holiday today, Labor Day. It's I wasn't sure if I was going to do the show, actually. Corey is off, and she's probably laying back there awake and irritated that I'm up at 6 and been up since 5:30 and got the dogs up. But I set the show up last night and went with it. So here we are. Anyway, Labor Day. New Brazilian from foodforestfarms.com. So Brian had some inventory that ended up becoming out of stock. I think he could no longer get the Ethiopian beans that he was getting, and wants to keep a wide variety of beans and single origins and different places in stock there for his customers. And so he sourced a new bean, a Brazilian, got that in, and this month was the first month that it got sent out in some of the C4 packages. Particularly, I like a light roast. I like a bean that lends itself to being light roast. Is kind of optimum at its light medium flavor. This bean is definitely a darker roast bean. It's going to be something that that when roasted to the medium dark side really brings out its best characteristics. So it's not really my optimal bean, I would say my daily drinker, where it's the cup that I make every morning and it's a favorite. But I do appreciate good coffee beans. I do appreciate the different flavors that come through them, even though they're not necessarily my favorite. And this is a solid bean. He got it to that medium dark roast, and you can really start to see that dark flavors coming out. Not my cup of tea, so to say, but I've been plowing through this first pound, and at that medium dark, it's definitely something I can tolerate. Anyway, if he had sent it out dark roast, I might have been more sparingly used it, but that medium dark is really sitting well. It's a solid bean. It's a solid bean. If you want to try it, you can order it. You can order a pound up or 2 or 5 or whatever you want at foodforestfarms.com. Just let Brian know any special instructions you have in the comment section when you order. It is a small business, and the guy running the roaster is going to be checking the emails and communicating with you. So you get exactly what you want. There's no endless AI or automated customer service or anything like that. And enjoy some coffee today. Foodforestfarms.com. Save 10% with my code, and I'll get a little credit too. But yeah, Brazilian is definitely good. I don't know if I'll go with that for a future being in my future orders. Good morning, Corey. How are you? Man, holiday, the routines are all off. The routines are all off. I don't know. Maybe I'll next holiday or next time Corey has Monday off, I'll postpone the show till later in the morning or skip it for the week. But anyway, let's get to it. First topic I have on my list to talk about is the cabin. Free Wilder Life says, good morning, Corey. And her husband is home too from work, and she's trying to be quiet. Yeah, it is. It's definitely tough in the camper, and with our two enormous boys. One just cuddled up in bed with her and stayed there. He doesn't move, but Norman gets excited when anything happens in the camper and runs around and wakes everybody up. So I'm sure Corey didn't get any extra sleep this morning, unfortunately. So anyway, cabin. Let's talk about the cabin. Been a long week with the cabin. Got a lot of stuff done. Got a lot of progress done. Also made a slight course correction in the plan that I had. Really have been taking the build project one section at a time. So really kind of look into one phase of the project and research it and plan it and scrub it and replan it and do it again. And then as I start doing the physical work on that plan, I start planning the next phase, I guess. So we needed to get a spot cleared. We needed to get the roof put up. And then the next phase was getting the floor hung. So we're going to hang a floor inside the full structure and then enclose everything and have a nice little cabin. When I first started planning it out, I really didn't have any thought that we could get concrete poured for a foundation, for a slab, for anything like that. And then when we went and looked into the pole barn and hanging the floor idea, we're going to have some support piers for kind of a main beam in the cabin design in the floor. And I looked into it, and I still think it would have been fine, but I was going to go with just digging out and making some compacted gravel pads and use the precast deck blocks that you see. You can get them at Home Depot. I talked about buying them the other couple weeks ago on the show. It accepts a 4x4 into it. It holds it, and then I was going to put 5 of these along a long beam for main support down the center of the cabin to hang floor joists off of. Like I said, I still think that would have been fine. I think it would have been on the upper end of the capabilities for that. I think it would have been okay. But as I sat and looked at it, I actually dug out 2 of them. I got them in place. I looked at them. I wasn't really happy with the size of them. And so I dug a little deeper, and it wasn't a whole lot of extra work to make it way better, make it way stronger, make it way more load bearing. All I really had to do, and quotes there on the screen, all I really had to do was really easy on paper, but was instead of a 12 by 12 by 12 hole, I was going to dig a 28-inch diameter, 14-inch deep hole. So basically just a little deeper and a bigger round hole instead of a 12 by 12 by 12 square hole. And a few bags of concrete and some gravel in it and a piece of threaded rod. And I kind of looked around and realized that I had a bunch of 6x6 cutoffs from the roof install that I could repurpose as the beam supports. So I was like, well, that'll be an upgrade in the lumber. The size is significantly bigger, going from a 4x4 to 6x6. The concrete pad now is there's pad piers, there's poured pad piers where they're going to be. And it was just a better overall. It was erroring on the side of more sturdy, more weight bearing, and I just thought it would be a better way to go. Since I'm doing it, I really am trying to stay in the mindset of just doing it right. Little extra work, but doing it right. And so I did all the digging in on the computer and researched what I wanted. And then I went out and I had to undo the 2 holes that I had already done. So I already had 2, like I said, 2 of the piers set up to use the blocks. And so I had to dig the gravel out of those. Had compacted that in every, I'm not restarting my computer right now. I had compacted those every inch to 2, so inch or 2 lifts. Poured some gravel in, used a tamper, compacted it in, and did that 12 inches deep. Had to dig those out, which left me 2 smaller holes in line, 2 of the 5. I restrung a line and measured out where I wanted the center of all these other holes to go, and I started digging 28-inch holes, 28-inch diameter, 14-inch deep holes, and significantly bigger. As I started the first one, I was like, it's easy to make the transition on paper, and when you start throwing a pickaxe into this baked clay up here in Tennessee, it turns different. But powered through over 2 days. I was able to get all 5 done. The one nice thing about the clay is when I dug it out and I was able to use a post hole digger and a shovel to really shave the edges of the hole. I kind of made the rough hole almost the right size, and I got down to the bottom, and then I just started expanding out and cleaning it up to really make it uniform. The nice part about the clay is as you shave it off, it really makes a nice clean hole. And I think it's going to pour really well. I'm not going to have to frame it out. I'm going to be able to level the gravel in the bottom real easy. So I'm going to end up doing 4 inches of gravel, an 8-inch pad, and then backfilling about 1 inch or 2 on the top with a threaded rod coming out through the ground, and then 6x6 post attachment brackets onto the 2x2. So that's the plan. So the work I got done during the week was basically getting those 5 holes dug, getting them cleaned up. They look really nice. I was excited. The last one I did was one of the redo holes, and it actually sits in a spot under the roof where, because there's no sides on it yet, when the sun comes up, the sun beats on that side underneath the overhang for, I don't know, maybe till like 10 o'clock in the morning. So from sunrise, which is about now, so 6:30, about 4 hours a day, it just beats in the sun. And I had already dug it out. I disturbed it, and then it sat probably for 2 or 3 days in the sun. It was sunny and hot all of those days. And I went to start to dig that final hole, and I swung the pickaxe at it, and it basically bounced off the ground like concrete. So it's sitting in that sun after I had disturbed it and let it suck all the moisture out of it. It had just like really, really hardened up to like concrete. Once I got about 6 inches down, it started to loosen up a little bit, but still digging in clay, lots of pickaxe and shovel work. So we got those cleaned up really nice. Good morning, Cormac. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Got those holes cleaned up. And then it was time to get material. I had a material list for the floor, basically about 100 pieces of 2x12 by 12 pressure treated wood, and 20, almost 30 sheets of 4x8 3/4 inch subflooring, tongue and groove subflooring. That was going to be my first order of lumber. And where I was ordering it was someplace I had to go pick it up. They could deliver it, but they didn't have they don't have the equipment to bring with them to unload it off the truck. So either I had to have equipment on site to unload it off their trailer, or I had to go pick it up and figure out how to transport it and unload it and stuff like that. So I don't have equipment on site. I would really love it. Yeah, I would love a skid steer out there or a tractor or something, which might come in the future. But right now, that's on the rental front if we need to use them. So I had to figure out someone to transport it. That's a pretty heavy load. It's a significant load, especially with the pressure treated. And we went with ground contact pressure treated, so it was even a little wetter on the 2x12s. And that's a significant piece of lumber in itself. So 100 of those, and then the sheets of flooring. Had to find a trailer. I found somebody that was willing to do it. Gentleman that helps me out the property. He owns property in that general area too, in that little subdivision. And I don't want to call it subdivision. It is. The guy bought a large hunk of land and subdivided it up. But basically a dirt road with a bunch of guys that have properties and a few people in this area. So he said that next time he was coming out to his property, he could help me move the stuff. He has access to a skid steer quite often as a contractor, doing dirt work and stuff like that. And that's what he uses on the road. So we were thinking we were going to be able to unload it with that. He was available on Saturday, and so was the lumber. I was able to get it ordered and have it available for pickup on Saturday. And so we drove out Saturday morning to the building supply, got it loaded up. It went really smooth. Really enjoy the guys at Stoll Woodcraft. It's people that we bought the post frame building from. I'll be ordering all my building materials from him, and then also the metal exterior to put on the sides. Just a really, really great place to interact with employees. They're all super nice, and the prices are right. And we got there, and it was loaded up, and we were ready to go. Unfortunately, my guy didn't have access to a skid steer, and we ended up hand unloading the whole load when we got back up to the property. He dragged it back with his truck and dragged it right up to the cabin site, which was nice. As close as we could get with a big 20+ foot trailer behind the truck and not a whole lot of room to turn around up there. We got it pretty close, but unloaded all that lumber by hand and got it all stacked up nice. Got the flooring covered up with a tarp. I was definitely showing my age and my out of shapeness. My helper, my guy was about 10. He's about 10 years younger than me and in shape. He actually does work every day, all day, physical labor. He was laughing at me. I was in rough shape. It was a lot of weight, a lot of moving. But we got it done. We got it done. We knocked it out pretty quick and actually got it done early. And I ended up going out to dinner with Corey over to some friend's house. And so that was good. Got that done on Saturday. So that was a lot of work put on site. That's the lumber for that'll be all the beams I'm building, all the floor joists, and the floor deck, basically, when all that lumber is gone. To add on to that, on Sunday we needed to pick up some more material. Now that I changed course on the piers, had already picked up the gravel for the other system, and it really, I think it's going to be about the same. I might end up having to pick up an extra couple bags here or there, but working out the math, it should be pretty close to the same amount of gravel to put the sub pad in the bottom of the holes. Just putting a 3 to 4 inch gravel underneath where I pour the concrete. But I had to get concrete, and I also had to come up with how I was going to mix it. I do have water on site, which is nice. We do have the rainwater collection off the shed that's full. That's a good 350 gallons of water, and really probably only going to need under 20 gallons of water for mixing the cement. So that's good. We already have that water up there, and had the gravel. So talked to Corey and asked if she wanted to take her Sunday and do a material run. So we also went to Lowe's on Sunday and picked up about 2,000 pounds of concrete. So we started, wow, the cat's running around, jumping on the table. We'll have a little update on Miss Dolly here in a minute. I'm just checking her out. Corey's letting the dogs out for their morning potty break, but she let the cat run around and just jumped on the table and knocked a bunch of shit over. Weird for a cat. Anyway, we're gonna have to pick up about 2,000 pounds of concrete at Lowe's. I was thinking I wanted to do 80-pound bags. I got there and I was still a little sore from the day before unloading all the lumber. And when I went to pick up the 80-pound bag, I was like, yeah, screw this. I'm not moving 25 of these things, and did the math real quick and converted that to 40, 50-pound bags. Little easier to handle. And in the end, it was good because Corey can handle a 50-pound bag of concrete, and she was able to help me unload them. But at the store, when I started to load up a cart, and I had about 8 off the shelf onto the cart, and it was a man. I think it was a manager. He looked like a manager, so it was actually a pleasant experience at Lowe's. Manager comes over and he's like, "Hey, how many more of those do you got to do?" Like, I was spreading them out on the cart and like organizing them. You could tell I was going to be building a big old pile of concrete bags. And I looked at the cart and there were 8 on there. I was like, well, I got about 32 more to do. And he's like, well, why don't you stop doing that? And you pull your truck up to the front, and we got pallets, and we'll just get a forklift and put the pallet up by your tailgate. And so instead of putting them on the cart and then into the truck, we can just unload them into the truck. I was like, that sounds like a fantastic idea. So we got the rest of what we were getting. I'm going to try the contractor bag method that the builder that did our pole frame taught me a method for mixing small batch concrete, where you just use the contractor bag and dump the concrete and the water in and knead it like bread. And it mixes up pretty quick and very, very consistent. And you have it in a vessel to pour right to where you want to go. So I picked up some heavy duty contractor bags. I went with some 6 mil contractor bags. I don't know if that'll end up having to double that up or just use the one, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try his trick and see how slick it is. I'll probably test run it on the first hole. And if it goes well, I'll figure out how to do that in a batch setup and possibly have all the bags set up per hole and go around and just and mix it up. But it's going to be like 8 bags, 8 50-pound bags per hole. So I'd probably get 2 of them in a bag and still be able to manipulate it enough. It's only 100 pounds plus a little bit of water. With the 80-pound bags, they suggest the most you ever do in the contractor bag is 2. So that's 160 pounds. So if I do 4 setups of 2 bags around each of these holes and have them ready to go and add the water needed in and dump it in, I think it should work pretty well. I did look into it a little further on the interwebs after he told me, and it seems like people have had a lot of success with it. I'm excited to try it. And then in the end, you have some plastic to cut up and cover your concrete pour. So we'll see. That's hopefully coming up this week. Get those footers poured, and then I'll start working on beams and hanging beams, and get all the beams set around the structure, and hang floor joists and get the floor in, and then and move on from there. Corey and I are targeting trying to get out there with minimal infrastructure. We both have agreed that we would rather live a little harder out there than continue to live in the camper. So basically the minimum requirements for us to get out there will be floor and walls up with part of that is the windows and doors are framed in, metal on the outside. Hopefully we're going to be spray foaming the whole structure, so then that will be insulated. We're gonna put a wood stove in it, and we'll also be taking the small solar system from the RV and starting with that. Um, I have the large load of solar panels that will eventually power everything, but that's going to take a while to install. And we can get by with the small system that we designed for the RV, and then that can be used for some other things when we get the larger system going. But it would be enough to get us out there, especially going into winter where our electric consumption is lower. Since we won't be running air conditioners or anything like that, we'll be able to heat with that wood stove, and being out there full time just changes the dynamic of when and how much work we can get done, and progress we can make instead of traveling back and forth to the property. So that's the goal. We can get water from a couple of different places, actually. Even right on the easement road, there's a couple of large springs, and since we set up to be boondocking all the time in the camper, we have the resources and the setup, and we've done it a bunch of times of transferring water using the tank in the back of our truck. So we have systems in place to run, to live where we don't have water access or anything like that. So while we set up the rain catch infrastructure and develop any springs on the property that we're going to use, we can still be there and have access to water through systems we set up for boondocking in the camper. So basically, we're going to be boondocking in a cabin and building out the permanent infrastructures while we're there. So that's the plan. I would love to be in before it gets super cold here. I say super cold. I'd like to be in by the first of the year. Be out there and working every day on it. That would be optimal to me. And between now and then, who knows? There might be camping trips out there for me or us in general. It's really hard to take the dogs out when we don't have anywhere enclosed for them to stay with us. So that'll probably be more after the walls and the windows and doors get put up. But exciting stuff. There's a plan laid out, and progress is being made. Seeing the big piles of material out there and realizing how much weight it was, because I moved it all by hand, and getting it all moved and installed is it puts the reality of how much work it is and how much we have coming up. But I'm excited to do it. I think it was like when I redid the camper and we pulled it into the driveway, and it was stock that came off a used camper lot, and we started pulling things out. We started pulling out the couches and the tables and stuff like that to install our plan and what we wanted to do. We knew it was a big project, and when it was done, it felt so good. And to use it and to test it out and to use the systems that we retrofitted and installed, it's just a great feeling. And so I'm hoping to relive that now with the cabin. Lots of planning and lots of installation and infrastructure stuff I've learned over the years, and accumulated knowledge along the way. It'll be fun. Rewild Life says it's so much easier to do it while you live there. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a easy half-hour one-way drive to get out there. So with responsibilities here, with the dogs and now the cat, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm actually changing my schedule up a little bit to take care of my responsibilities and my commitments to Tim out there, and to maximize our work. Corey and I have kind of rearranged our schedule here with dog walks and dinner and things like that, and I'll end up spending a lot more time, hopefully a lot more time on site, getting things done out there. both by myself and then with her when possible. So she doesn't work much the second half of the year. This is pretty common for Corey to take off. I shouldn't say it's the last quarter of the year, last third of the year. She takes a lot of Thursday, Fridays, long weekends starting in September. So I think she only works 1 or 2 full weeks the rest of the year. So it's a lot of time that she's going to be available to come and be second hands out there and help get some stuff accomplished. So excited for that. So a little course correction on the piers and the way we're going to support that main beam. But beyond that, lots of material showed up this weekend and lots of work to do. Hoping to have the floor hung by the end of September. We do have a ton of visitors. Corey's parents are coming to town. Tim and his family are coming to town. SRF is happening. Carrie Brown's coming into town for a couple spots. We have a couple get-togethers planned. So there's a lot of other stuff that it's going to take attention and resources away from working. So optimistic goal is to have the floor all done by the end of September, and then moving on to framing out the windows and the doors and getting the sides on will be in October. So we will see what happens. Glad the cooler season's coming around for all that work. Yeah, that stuff's good. Like I said in the opening, I'm not necessarily a huge darker roast guy, but that Brazilian, it works. It works for sure. So that's the cabin update. I never really hit the Bitcoin price this morning. Bitcoin's been down a little bit over the last week or so. If you're over in the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat, that's t.me/lotschat, where we hang out all week and talk. There's an ongoing joke that when Scrambling, the Food Forest Farms guy, Brian, he makes a prediction about the Bitcoin price. It's going to do the opposite. So he's been saying it's going to go up. We think he has alternative motives. He wants to buy a dip, but he pushed the price all the way down to currently at 108,630 here on September 1st, 2025. It is what it is. It's a good time to stack. I don't know. It settled pretty good right in that 108, 109 range. I don't know if it's going to go down much more. I don't know. I just I plug along and I buy what I can when I can, and earn what I can when I can by selling hardware wallets and the like. A little chaos going on out there. And earning things like on Fold. Used Fold this weekend for the Lowe's purchase and got like I think $11 back. It was like a $300 worth of gift cards. I got $11 back in Bitcoin at this price. So as the price increases, my reward increases. I look back at when I started using Fold a couple years ago, and some of the rewards I got for buying gift cards and for buying Amazon gift cards and things like that. And with the price of Bitcoin at that time, I don't know, $40,000. Those rewards of 3x so far. They just all went in a wallet. They just sit there. And that makes that percentage back a little better. So if you haven't used Fold, let me know. I can get you a referral link to get signed up. It's a prepaid debit card. Basically, you hook your bank account, you deposit money, and use it like any other debit card. But you can buy gift cards to use at a lot. I mean, tons of places where you get Bitcoin rewards back when you buy the gift cards. So I routinely use it to get groceries at Kroger, Lowe's. I think they just added Tractor Supply. You can also get gift cards for Blockstream for picking up a Jade or anything like that. So you can check out the Fold card. I've been happily a member for, it'll be going on 3 years now, I think. I've been using Fold. So any questions about that, let me know. You can reach out at me on Telegram or any of the socials. And t.me/lotschat is that chat room we hang out in quite a bit. So Dolly, our cat, He was on the table, by the way. Yeah, while you were gone. If you don't know anything, huh? Sure. Sure. What's up, kitty cat? So if you're watching the video, you'll see my new friend here. This is Dolly. Dolly showed up on our step. Are you right there? There you go. Dolly showed up on our step. I don't know. What was it, like a month ago now? At least. And Corey fell in love. She fed it a can of tuna and it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I kind of knew it was sticking around at that point. She got me to build her a little outside house. Never even stayed in it. It was like the next day or 2 days later, she took her to the vet and made her a enclosure inside. So she moved into the camper. Corey's got a enclosure back in her room there that she stayed in. Doesn't look like she's staying in it much anymore, but Life says, "Oh, look at you! I thought you didn't look at any cats or like cats. You saw how I gave it away. She's all right. She's a sweet little girl. We've taken her to the vet a couple times. First time we went to the vet, he said that she was probably he say? Yeah, okay. The first visit about a month ago, he said the cat was like 8 to 9 weeks. She was really small, very skinny because she was living outside. And we took her last week to get her second round of shots and get appointment for being spayed. And the doctor looked at her teeth. The vet, I guess, looked at her teeth and determined that she's more like 5 months old. So a little older than we thought. But integration's going well. Corey's been very patient. She's done a fantastic job with our two enormous dogs that love playing and running around in the camper, figuring out how to integrate the cat and the two dogs. So very slowly but surely, she integrated them. She gave the cat playtime in front of the dogs, kept them separate. Slowly integrated them into playing with her, supervised. And really, in the last 2 to 3 days, she's been out for the majority of the day while we were here. When we leave, we put her away and put her in the locker up, so there isn't a full on chase game while we're not here. But basically, the boys get interested for shorter and shorter periods of time every day. Every time she's out, they do get a little excited when we let her out, and then lose interest quite quick and just lay down, go to sleep, and she has the run of the camper. Basically, she definitely has kitten energy. She plays all the time, running around, and then she'll go back in her cage on her own with the door open. She'll go up on her little cat tower in there and take a nap. And then we'll see her come out and start playing around. But dogs are doing really well with her. We're very concerned because they're so big that just one paw swipe on the kitten will could do some damage. Had some close calls. I think Clyde sat on her one day. I was just turning around, sitting down, and sat on her, and she let him know she was there, and not any harm, but a lot of screeching and commotion real quick. She thinks Clyde's tail is fantastic. Clyde is always wagging his tail 100 miles an hour, and it has a little white tip on the end. So she is very excited, and she's very excited and likes to follow that around. So they're getting along. They're getting along well. I'm shocked. I do have to admit my wife has done absolutely fantastic. She knows what she's doing. She can read animals, I guess, way better than me. When she thought she was going to bring it inside, the way I had seen the two boys react to other animals outside, even cats that kind of been around the camper in the neighborhood, and squirrels and things like that. When I see them react to them outside, I was like, there's no way this is happening, especially in this camper. She did fantastic. She did a great job. She slowly integrated them. I shouldn't give her props yet. As she's looking at me and just like looking around like they're doing just fine together right now. Don't worry about it. But she did a fantastic job so far, and I think they're gonna be lifelong friends. I think they figured out that neither one of them, any of them, are going anywhere, and so they should just figure it out. And they're all happy animals. They're all happy animals. So that has been an adventure. Corey's got her new pet, and we're set up to, I think, one more trip to the vet in October, and she'll get spayed, and that'll be that. And then we got a pet for the next 15 years, I guess. What are you gonna do? What are you going to do? But she's doing well. And Corey's happy. Corey's definitely happy, and she'll probably keep the critters down at the cabin, and we'll have one inside, and then I'm guessing we'll end up with some outside cats there, just for rodent control and things like that. So she is all adjusted in. What else do I have on the list here? I kept it pretty light for Labor Day. Local town stuff is getting a little ridiculous around here, and we also have some big news coming out of the semi-local community this week. First off, the biggest story in the local area down here, Sheriff Buford Puser, the Walking Tall fame. He was the sheriff back in the day here in McNairy County. So we're in Hardin County. We're in the upper, I guess that would be the northwest corner of Hardin County. We border McNairy County, where Buford Puser fame. And so about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes from where I stay, is Adamsville, Tennessee. And Adamsville, Tennessee is where Buford Puser was born, where he died, where there's a museum. I guess his grave site, they have Buford Puser Days is basically the town festival every year. He's a local legend. He is a local legend, and if you don't know who he is or anything about him, you should look it up. I don't know the intricate details of the story, but over the last, I would say, year to 2 years at least, since we've been here, there's been rumbles that he wasn't everything that he was made out to be. He was hard on the moonshiners, the gamblers, and the gang, the organized crime type of stuff around here. And as the story went, and as it's been told for since it happened, Buford's wife was murdered. And how he told the story and how it has been recorded until recently, basically, was he was ambushed. She went on with him on a call one night. He was ambushed by some enemies of his, and she ended up shot and dead in the car. He ended up shot in the face and ended up surviving, but told the story of the ambush that killed his wife. That has gone down in the folklore around here. He ended up living for quite a while after that, and he's dead now too. So I had kind of looked into that a little bit of his story. You really get immersed and see his name quite a bit around here, and so I just looked up a little bit about him. Well, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation decided to open up a little bit more of an investigation about what happened. There was evidence, and I guess from what I understand, there was always kind of questioning his story and how things went down. That he might not have been honest and truthful in his dealings with investigation. And so they started digging in. Now there's controversy around here that says the investigator doing the investigation had an axe to grind, that he was trying to make a name for himself, blah blah blah, whatever. I think a lot of stuff is hearsay, both when it happened and now. And you're dealing with somebody that's a local legend, somebody that's been built up since I think the 50s, and so for pretty much 75 years, been honored and worshipped in the area, and now they're presenting evidence against him. So there's a lot of pushback. There's been a lot of fervorous debate in the local Facebook groups about this, but TBI basically started an investigation to see if the ambush story was legit. They exhumed his wife's body, investigated that, investigated a lot more evidence. It's been going on, man. I gotta say, it's been at least a year, if not more, that they've been looking into this. And so last Friday, they released the results of their investigation, and basically they said if the guy was alive today, we'd charge him with murder. That the ambush story was likely bullshit. That he likely made it up. That more than likely she was unalived outside the car and then put in the car later, and that the gunshot wound to his face was more than likely self-inflicted than done by someone else. Now, if it's true, if it's not true, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never seen any of the evidence. I wasn't alive when it happened. I don't know. All I know is there's two stories, and one of them's true, maybe, or maybe a combination of both. But anyway, that has sparked some outrage around here. There's also the sticky subject of the town and what they're going to do now that they have a museum for this guy that more than likely has been put on record as a murderer. They closed the museum. They shut the doors pending investigation. Excuse me, pending some city meetings. They're going to have some city meetings over there and decide what they want to do. Whether they're going to continue to have Buford Puser days, whether they're going to continue to run the museum, and what's going to come of this now that this new information has come to light. So it's been interesting to watch. It's been interesting to watch the people defend him, and also the people that are like, I knew it the whole time. That type of stuff. I noticed that somebody posted that they quickly have taken down the marker, the roadside marker for the spot that the ambush happened, where he was found with her dead in the car and him shot in the face. That was basically a historical landmark around here, and the signage has been taken down. The museum's been closed since Friday, and from what I understand, that Buford Puser days are on hold for now. So that information has come to light over the last week, so that's been an interesting story to follow around here. And then also, our local politics has just spiraled out of control. I shouldn't say our local politics. The town that I live in here, the town that we stay in, kind of talked about it over the weeks, but they elected a new mayor, and there's kind of two factions in the town here. There's the old school residents that have been here for, their families have been here for hundreds of years, I guess. But the old school, and then you have all the new people moving in, and I guess this happens everywhere, but especially here in Tennessee, there's been a huge influx of people, and a lot of people that don't necessarily think the way that the locals do. I think they had a run with a mayor that was kind of on the side of the new influx of people and their ideas, and they voted in a new mayor. They voted in somebody that has been mayor before. He's been in this area his whole. I mean, he owns a bunch of property around here. His family is all around here. Owns businesses around here, and he got elected mayor, and kind of doing things the I don't want to misuse the term, but the good old boy way. So the faction of people that were represented by the new mayor, the new transplants into town, the new blood that has come to town, feel jaded. They feel that they're not doing things right. Now, I don't have a really a dog in the fight, and I read it. I keep up to date on what's going on, but it's gotten really just almost obnoxious on Facebook with the vocal minority in these fake Facebook groups. Just anything every day. There's something new that they're writing long-winded. The sky is falling type post that something the mayor has done, or the mayor is going to do, or the mayor said this, that, or the other thing. And it's getting just absolutely obnoxious. And it's funny because some locals are getting sick of it too. I read it. Like I said, I have no dog in the fight. So I read it and I just move on. And I actually have stopped reading a lot of it. Corey is kind of over it. She's getting ready to leave all the local groups. We were in them just to know local events and the local community news, and maybe be a part and participate in the community. But they've made that a place now that it's just nonsense. But it's infuriating. One of the biggest agitators in the whole thing uses the ability to post anonymously on Facebook in these groups, and it drives me nuts. But like some sister, and why am I bothering? It's just in my feed. I stay in the groups because people post like help wanted, odd jobs wanted, things like that. They're the small community groups, but they have just started to be overrun by all this nonsense about the mayor. And now I've gotten to a point where if it's more than a paragraph, more than a few sentences, I just skip it. Because it is just nonsense. And when you see it from outside, when you see it and don't have a dog in the fight, when you read it and you don't care either way, it really shows how nonsensical it is, and the things that people are getting wound up about are asinine. It's a microcosm of the greater system, of the greater bullshit that goes on over every issue. Like Corey said the other day, it seems like everyone has to have something to be outraged about at all times. And the people in these local groups have really taken that on to heart. So it might be time for me to move on from this area. Like Mike says, why am I bothering? It might be time to just dump 100% of the efforts into moving 30 minutes away. And I'm sure the same bullshit is going to happen in the small groups there. And it's unfortunately one of the ways to get stuff done around here, and find the resources to help and odd jobs and things like that. We'll see. I don't know, but it's telling that they've gotten so bad that I'm fed up with it. I'm always up for a good debate and read these things, and I've just got to the point where like they're being completely ridiculous, and it's just spiraling. So we'll see. The mayor, the current mayor, the ex-mayor, neither one has ever done anything that has affected me. And honestly, that's the question I would ask these people if I cared enough to participate. would be what has actually affected your life. What has he done that has personally affected you? Ruada Life says, man, I'm so close to dumping social media between bits and people's crap. I'm over it. Yeah, I pondered it. I pondered shutting everything down. I don't know. we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, as far as social media goes, I convince myself that there are good things that can come of it. But I don't know. The more and more it gets worse and worse. I don't know if it's worth it. I gotta hop back on Noster and use that and make a commitment maybe to go down just one road. Speaking of social medias and things, alternative social medias, I at one point had started messing around with Flip. It was an app I tried out. I was trialing it. It was one that it came about when the TikTok ban bans and all that shit was going on. And basically, it was a site set up to where creators could buy products and then make videos about products and earn a little bit of money. Messed around with it a little bit. They were kind of shady. The company seemed shady. Just stuff had happened that I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. But I held on to the apps and I stayed in a few community groups on Facebook about the app. And I never really used it. And I went dark on there for maybe 90 days. And I came back and I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it a try again. Maybe they fixed some things. Did a few posts. I think I did a week's worth of posts and basically got no views. And I was like, nah, just it isn't for me. The crowd really was it just didn't make sense. So I stopped posting again. And then this past week, somebody posted in one of the groups about the app. It's closed. It's just randomly closed. I'm like, what? So I opened my app and basically they shut down with no notice. I know I've interacted with a lot of people that have hundreds and even thousands of dollars in their account that they now don't have access to. And the company just shut down. So that's a stark reminder of how quickly it can go away if you're building something on someone else's platform. If you're building income through something like Amazon or YouTube or Facebook or things like that, man, you might wake up one day and it might just be gone. These people are looking for recourse into getting some of their significant amounts of money off of there, but I don't know how that's going to go. It's definitely a peg in the get rid of it column for all of the mainstream social medias that can just be taken away at the whim. So we'll see what happens here in the next few months. Radical change might not be a bad thing. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna save the flat earther discussion probably for next week. I'm gonna wrap things up and spend the day with my beautiful wife. She's got to work just a little bit this morning, and then we're gonna work on some woodworking projects. And we got a table to build before some guests come to town later this month. So we're gonna work on that and set the course for getting some cabin work done, hot and heavy here over the next few weeks. So. Anyway, I appreciate you listening. If you're interested in picking up a Blockstream Jade, I usually do a little segment about them in the show, but not today. store.blockstream.com/lots project. Link is down in the video description and the audio description. Pick up hardware wallet, save yourself 10%, and I earn a little bit of commission when you do that. Other than that, you can swing on over to thelotsproject.com. Thelotsproject.com where you can find a bunch of product reviews. You can find links to my Amazon storefront, and especially if you're going to be shopping on Amazon, if you just stop there on the main page, hit the banner that says, "Are you shopping on Amazon today?" I'll earn a little credit for everything you buy on that trip. I appreciate it greatly. Or catch up with us at the Telegram group, t.me/lotschat. That's t.me/lotschat. Great group of people over there. We have a bunch of fun and talk about a bunch of weird shit all the time, and you'll enjoy it too. So anyway, I hope you have an awesome week. Enjoy your Labor Day. Get a bunch of stuff done around your house for you. Head back to work tomorrow and make it a great week. We will catch up with you with a little bit of update and all sorts of more fun stuff next Monday morning. Make it a good one. We'll talk to you soon.